Today on Locked On Rockies, it's never easy for the Colorado Rockies, but they hang on to beat the Texas Rangers thanks to some timely offense and a solid start. But this Rockies team has decisions to make when it comes to the bullpen.
You are Locked On Rockies, your daily Colorado Rockies podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked On Rockies podcast for today, the 19th day of April, May in the year 2026. I'm your host of the Locked On Rockies podcast, Paul Holden, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where you can find your team every day. And if your team is the Colorado Rockies, guess what? You're in the right spot, because that's what we do around here, free and streaming on your favorite streaming services and on the Locked On Rockies YouTube channel, where you can be part of the show. You can fire off your Rockies hot takes. You can let me know what's on your mind when it comes to the Colorado Rockies. On today's show, we'll talk about the up and down roller coaster of a series opener against the Rangers. We'll dive into the numbers of Victor Vodnik, as the Rockies are going to have to figure out what they're going to do with Victor, as he has had moments where he's been able to look like the guy we have hopes and expectations for. But in games like this, the lack of command, the lack of control almost sinks the Colorado Rockies, and stuff that just can't happen. The Rockies are way too susceptible to big damage in the 8th and 9th inning in this season here. So we'll dive into that. Plus, the Rockies still are, they're getting close. They're having moments, but they still need to capitalize on those opportunities when they get them. I'll explain why, what I mean there, coming up on today's show. But thank you again so much for making us your first listen of the day. We're free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. And I am, of course, Paul Holden, your Rockies fan extraordinaire, bringing you your daily Colorado Rockies talk here for over 6 seasons now. That's hundreds of episodes of the Locked On Rockies podcast with you, the Rockies fans, going through the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between when it comes to Rockies baseball. Hey, a win's a win. Let's start there, right? Let's obviously highlight the fact that it's unacceptable for Victor Vodnik to put the Rockies in that situation. You cannot come out of the bullpen and you can't be missing the zone. You have to be aggressive and attack the zone. It's something that the broadcast, if you listen closely enough, and if you're listening to the games, I'm always curious how much people are listening to the game while actually watching it. That's not a rude thing, but when you hear, or if you listen closely, the Rockies broadcast will talk a lot about the importance of throwing those first pitch strikes and importance of getting yourself ahead early. And that is just something that when the Rockies get themselves in trouble, especially late in the ball games, it's allowing those free passes. You cannot be giving up those handouts, especially when you're looking at a comfortable lead. At Coors Field, a ball in the gap is going to clear the bases. A ball in the gap is going to score 2. Anything, I mean, even with where they're playing, a hard hit, a ball that might be a soft liner with a good jump off second base, when you got runners on second and third, they're going to score. And the Rockies were luckily able to get successful performances from Brennan Bernardino and Juan Mejia here when the game is on the line. So the Rockies have members of their bullpen that have been able to be successful in these situations. It's just unfortunate that Vodnik has not been able to be the guy in most situations. But the game logs tell a little bit more of a complicated story. But if the Rockies are going to option Zach Agnos, I wonder what that thought process will be with Victor Vodnik. Obviously, with Herget on the sideline for a little bit and the Rockies dealing with injuries, I don't expect them to make anything too crazy of any moves right now. But something to maybe keep in the back of the mind. As the Rockies, again, this is just something that is it's frustrating. This is the type of stuff where it's just like, man, when you're sitting comfortably, it's not like the Rockies kind of, were taking the foot off the gas here, but it was just, they were keeping pace. It was chip away from the Rangers here, but you got to come in and you got to slam the door. You can't give these teams these, whether it be the Rangers, the Dodgers, whoever it might be, when you hand out those free passes, you're going to get yourself in trouble here. So, so far this season here, Victor Vodnik has, I believe, if I got this right, 13 walks. Yes, he's got 13 walks in a total of 18 innings pitched. That can't happen. I mean, that for a guy that's supposed to be a high leverage, big important situation guy, that is just that's unacceptable. Especially when you factor in the fact that he's only struck out 16 batters this year. He's got a whip of 211 here. He does have 4 saves in this, and when we're looking at the month of April here, the month of May here, there's 2 blemishes tonight. And the performance against it wasn't as bad, but against in the Pittsburgh series, he gave up a run in back-to-back appearances there. But against Atlanta, against Philly, against Arizona, clean inning, except where a handful of walks. Had a walk against Atlanta, had a walk against Philly. Victor Vodnik in 5 out of his 6 appearances this month has at least 1 walk, and in the positions in the games and in the stages of the game that he is being put into, that just can't happen. And this adds on to the fact that he has had 7 walks back in April. But now if we kind of zoom out a little bit more here, he's appeared in 6 games in May. And let's zoom this back to the last 10 appearances. The last 10 appearances for Victor Vodnik. He's got a walk in 8 out of those last 10 appearances. And in those last 10 appearances, 2 earned runs against the Dodgers on April 19th, 5 earned runs against San Diego on the 23rd. An earned run against Pittsburgh and an earned run in back-to-back appearances, and then the 3 earned runs tonight. One of the common factors, it happens when he's been able to navigate it, but in all those games where he's giving up runs, guess what he also has 1 of? At least he's got the 1 walk. So when Victor Vodnik is not able to, gives those guys an extra pass, he's being punished for it. The opposing team has been successful at doing doing damage against Victor Vodnik there because he's been unable to find the zone. Now tonight could be a wet ball, could be the conditions, could be something. There could be there could be a variety of things. But we're talking about a guy that is supposed to be coming in big situations here with a whip of 2.11. That just can't happen. It needs to be shut down, close the door, no issues, no stress, no nothing. And the Rockies they have been putting Vodnik in this game. He had the comfortable lead. These are supposed to be the moments where Vodnik's able to continue to work on and adapt and make sure that he's making the progress and continuing to work in the right direction. But it seems like as soon as he starts getting a little bit of momentum, he hits a hurdle here. Back-to-back scoreless appearances here in May. Actually, I'm sorry, 3 straight scoreless appearances in the heart of April here. He then allows back-to-back. He allows 7 runs in his next inning and 2/3 there. Has a scoreless frame against the Mets. Then he struggles against Cincinnati. Couple of scoreless frames in a row against Atlanta and Philly, and then it's the struggles against Pittsburgh there. And yes, 3 hits, 1 run allowed, 1 walk. These are struggles for a bullpen arm. When we're talking about, the Rangers themselves have a great bullpen. You got to be able to shut that down. And for teams being able to be batting .327 against Vodnik in April, and now .286 so far here in May, with 6 walks and counting this month and 7 walks in April, that's not a good sign here for Victor Vodnik, and they are going to need more from him there. Luckily, the Rockies are able to avoid and survive the damage tonight, but better offenses like we've seen, when I know that he wasn't responsible for he wasn't pitching in that game against Atlanta, but when the Atlantas, the Dodgers, when these big bats, San Diego, who did damage against Vodnik there, back in April, when these big bats, these big offenses come rolling around, especially at Coors Field, You got to be sharp. You got to be able to get the job done there. And luckily, though, for Victor Vodnik, his bullpen mates were able to pick him up there and were able to come in and have a great job. That's the Rockies have had still, though, it's been hot and cold, hit or miss for some guys, but Jaden Hill, Brennan Bernardino, Juan Mejia, they came in and did their jobs here. Every member of the Rockies bullpen has some, one of those things, with really the exception of probably like Antonio Sensatella, right? They have a couple of those hiccup moments here, but they've shown us in this season that they can come up in these clutch moments and get the outs like Bernardino did. He had a walk as well, as the Rockies end up walking 4 total here in this ball game. But you just can't have 3 walks in the final innings of the game. That's just a recipe for disaster, and it was a near one here. Let's talk about some of the good things, though, that happened in this ball game here, especially when it comes to the offense, as we are seeing, hopefully, continued momentum behind Ezequiel Tovar on a possible rebound here. Let's dive into that. Plus, pretty solid day around there for the Rockies offense. Wasn't the flashiest things, but like we say all the time, put the ball in play and good things happen. Before we do that, though, got to tell you about the folks that help make this show possible, and that includes Game Time. Baseball is back. Yes, you can feel it. I mean, you've been watching, you've been rocking and rolling. It's time for you to get out to the ballpark because you want to go soak it all in. You want to hear the crack of the bat. You want to go tarps off with everybody there as that continues to sweep through baseball. Whether it's a breakout rookie or a division race that goes down to the wire, there's nothing like being in the ballpark for it. The only problem, getting tickets can feel like a grind. Long queues, surprise fees, prices jumping at checkout. That's where there's Game Time. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. Simple to use. Game Time guarantee means you get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time at the best price. And here's the best part. Fees are included in the price you see. What you see is what you pay, period. So not only are you going to get the guaranteed tickets, and you're going to get a great deal, they're going to show you a view from your seat as well. So you are going to make the most confident and comfortable ticket buying decision you have ever made. Follow your favorite teams and get alerts when new deals drop as well. 2 taps and it's done. No stress, no hidden fees, just great seats and minutes. That's what makes it so easy to decide last minute to hit a game. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. We are also brought to you by Hims. ED is way more common than most guys think. Millions of guys deal with it at some point, and that's exactly why Hims offers a straightforward way to handle it. Hims connects you with a licensed healthcare provider online, giving you access to legitimate ED treatment options from the comfort of your home. No awkward appointments, no pharmacy lines, just a straightforward process that makes it easier to take care of yourself. The whole process is simple. You just complete a quick online intake and a provider reviews your information. If treatment is right for you, it ships directly to your door in discreet packaging, which makes the whole experience feel private and stress-free. It's straightforward, transparent, and designed to make getting care feel easy. To get simple, online access to personalized, affordable care for ED, hair loss, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/LockedOnMLB. That's hims.com/LockedOnMLB for your free online visit. hims.com/LockedOnMLB. Prescription required. See website for details and important safety information. Sildenafil is the generic version of Viagra. Viagra is a registered trademark of Viatris Specialty LLC. Hims is not affiliated with or endorsed by Viatris. Locked on Rockies back with you all here for segment number 2. Don't forget, get ad-free versions of the show and hang out with us in the Everydayer Club Discord server. And you can also get access to the Everydayer Club merch store They're exclusive for it. $5 a month, $50 a year. Check it out. LockedOnRockies.supercast.com. LockedOnRockies.supercast.com. All right. So here is the good news with the Rockies in this one. This was a hard-fought game. I mean, this was a game in which the Rockies here score in 4 innings, 4 out of the 9 there, which is, well, I guess 8 technically because the Rockies don't bat in the bottom half of the 9th as they are able to hang on, and they're able to cash in here with with going 7 runs here with 7 hits, including one Ezequiel Tovar, who has a 2 RBI double to open things up. He also gets a walk there as he continues to start settling himself into the best groove of the season that we've seen here. Last 7 games for Ezequiel Tovar here. He's got 7 hits in that time, 3 RBI, 2 walks, only 3 strikeouts in his last 21 ABs, meaning the broadcast mentioned this as well with the walk that Tovar took in this one. It's clear that he is seeing the ball better. He's in a much better spot when it comes to his plate vision and his approach at the dish. Batting .333 with a .391 and a .429 slugging. That's OBP and slugging, .391 there, as he starts inching and chipping away here at trying to get himself back into the mix here as a bigger threat on offense. Willie Castro starts things off with a nice double, and then he has a multi-hit day. Brenton Doyle picks up a hit, also was active on the base path. Good to see the Rockies, starting to be a little bit getting things active on the base paths yet again here. Something I know that is going to ebb and flow, but as this season continues, I want to see the Rockies continue to put the pressure on, and including it was a tough day behind the dish there for Jansen. He had that crazy missed. He had that crazy throw there where it went basically to second base. But the conditions, that was not an easy game for probably anybody, as it was cold, it was wet, and then it stopped, and then it was on and off rain. The Rockies also get a base knock from McCarthy. Sterling Thompson gets his first base hit of his major league career. It was a hot shot there to shortstop, but it was able to be counted as a hit. And the big thing here, though, that is just really important and really one of those things that would be the next gear for the Rockies is they got to land the big haymaker punch in that first inning. When you the two runs from and cashing in with Tovar, awesome. That obviously is great. You'll take what you were given there, certainly. But the Rockies were in a position to do that big damage or really make things difficult for the Rangers in this one, and they weren't able to do it. On the flip side, though, in the first 4 innings, they score in 3 out of the 4 first innings, and they're all crooked numbers there, giving themselves that cushion to work with. The offense here doing their job for the most part here. We talk about the starters need to go 5 to 6 innings, keep it to 3 runs, and then the bullpen needs to come in and do their job from there. On the flip side here, if the offense is going out there and giving you 6+ runs, and they're giving you a 6-5 lead heading into the back half of the ball game, that's the offense. Obviously, you want to keep it going and keep adding there. It's good that the Rockies did, including getting that 7th run across from the Rockies there from I can't remember who did score. Let me see when these RBI were. Castro scored first, then Doyle, then Tovar, and then I'm sorry, I don't think that's right. These are just listing in alphabetical order. I'm sorry, but I can't remember if it was if Castro's second hit was that one or if it was Rumfield, because I know obviously Tovar was there and I think Doyle was earlier in the game. But regardless, good to see the Rockies scoring in pairs, though. That's a great sign for a Rockies offense, and it's a great way for them to give themselves that cushion, give themselves that space and that buffer that they need, especially when you're playing at Coors Field, right? As we saw in this game and as we've seen multiple times throughout the years here. Do you ever truly feel safe with the lead at Coors Field? But talk about a way to bump up and amp up your pitcher as well. Nothing. I'm not a pitcher. I was never a pitcher. But when your team goes out there and gives you a crooked number in the first inning, that's going to give you a little bit more confidence going through there. And Jose Quintana was able to have a very solid and effective outing here. Gives up the home run But other than that, it's not much other big damage. 7 hits, but that's to be expected. It's going to be it's part of what the philosophy there for the Rockies starters. But 7 hits, 3 runs, all 3 of them earned. Only 1 walk. Had the 4 strikeouts as well. Had some good stuff moving there as the Rockies were able to pick up 8 strikeouts in total in this ball game. But all in all, I mean, the one thing I just is like, just when you're talking about the missed opportunities, Hunter Goodman missing 2 center cut fastball. I can't remember if they were fastballs, but 2 center cut pitches, bases loaded. Man, just you can sink those teams. You can and obviously the Rockies have blown 6-run leads. They blew us 5-run lead. No lead is safe, but man, can you really make that uncomfortable? And obviously it ended up where the Rangers had to go to the bullpen early due to Gore being pulled for the injury. But in those situations, when you have those opportunities to get to that bullpen, even if it's a good Rangers bullpen, tire them out, especially in game 1. Make it so they got to dip into that bullpen. Make it difficult for them here in this one. But hey, this is another example of a game that the Rockies probably blow and lose last year, right? This is another example of the Rockies being in a little bit of a better situation here. But there's still a lot of missed opportunities in this one. There's still a lot of these games that are like, wow, the Rockies were close to making that a phenomenal game or impressive game instead of one where, hey, it was a solid game and then we got to grit and bear and hold on to our teeth here in the end of that one. The Rockies go 5 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Goodman, Thompson, and Karros, the ones unable to come up with with a run there. But still, hey, the Rockies did their job. It was a team effort today. It took a lot of guys doing a lot of different contributions here, and they're able to hang on and get the win. Let's see what it's going to take to get a series win here against the Rangers in game number 2, and take a look at the matchups. All that and more coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Rockies.
Hey, it's Mike and John from Locked On Angels. We wanted to talk to you about something that's important, and that's your family.
I've been married a few years now, and my wife and I have a 1-year-old, and we're always thinking about his future. Who's he going to become? How can we help? In what ways can we make sure his future is secure?
Yeah, I'm in a different season. I'm married. I have 3 young adult kids, and lately I've been thinking a lot about how to make sure my family's taken care of in the long term.
This is why life insurance matters, not because it solves everything, but because it helps provide financial security for the people you love the most.
And that's where Ethos comes in. Ethos makes getting life insurance fast and easy, 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and even get same-day coverage, and there's no medical exam. You just answer a few simple health questions online, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage. Some policies are as low as $30 a month.
So take 10 minutes to get covered today with life insurance through Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/lockedonmlb. That's ethos.com/lockedonmlb.
Get up to $3 million in coverage in as little as 10 minutes at ethos.com/lockedonmlb. Application times may vary. Rates may vary.
We are also brought to you by KALSHI. Baseball season is here. Now you can trade every game on KALSHI, but I want to dip into something a little bit different here and what makes KALSHI different. So say you were watching that crazy Western Conference Finals game, right? So you open it up there and you're saying, oh, maybe I want to get in on some of, I got a hunch. I got an idea. I'm watching the trends. I'm seeing this game. I'm seeing it play out live. Well, KALSHI lets you interact with a live market because you're trading against peers in a live market. There's no house. And as the probability changes, and how often were the it was one play after another, a block shot, a big shot, Wemby shot from the logo. There was block shots. There were everything. Those probabilities are going to change real time rapidly. And since it's a live market, you can get in on the action at KALSHI. You can buy in and out of your position as well, so you're not set with just one thing. You can go for a variety of options for yourself And you can use your sports hunch to go out there and capitalize in that live market. For a limited time, download the KALSHI app and use code LOCKEDON to get $10 when you trade 10. Yes, that's $10 when you trade 10 at KALSHI when you use the code LOCKEDON. KALSHI, KALSHI. Trade on anything. 18 and up only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory. That's kalshi.com/regulatory. Locked On Rockies coming to a close here on today's episode of the show. Let me know your thoughts here. And this was some of the instant reaction that we got to this game here. Let's see. KC says we still can't hit homers and we play at Coors. Yeah, the Rockies they don't have a ton of power in the lineup. They have some powerful guys. But home runs are certainly going to be a talking point and a topic to look at there, as the Rockies do need to start hitting the ball out of the yard a little bit more. Hasn't necessarily been the best conditions as continues to be playing baseball in May in Colorado, but we'll have to continue to see how they handle that. As it is one of those things. Obviously, the not the only way to score runs, but it's a great way to score runs and a great way to land. We were talking about landing that big haymaker, right? And it's a good way to do it, as the Rockies only have that, I believe, the one grand slam on the year. That's the only one more than a 2+ run home run for the Rockies. They certainly need to be better. Our case is Vodnik has been rough this year. Yeah, it has not been easy for him, but we'll have to see how the Rockies are able to navigate that, and what if that is going to make any decisions for them. I can't remember what the option situation is for Victor Vodnik, but I wonder if they're a guy that they want to keep challenging and having him work through it and kind of work with their major league staff to see what happens. But if Agnos is one that can get demoted there, if Vodnik's got the options there, I wonder if that's in the back of the mind as well. I don't necessarily know if it could be mechanical, right? When you're missing the zone, when you're not attacking the zone, when you're walking guys, that could be the mechanics being the issue there when it comes to the control. All right, let's take a look here at the matchup for game number 2 against the Rockies and the Rangers. At least right now, undecided for the Rockies on the starter here. I wonder. I'm trying to think if there was anything off the top of my head that would suggest what they might do in this situation. Will they go? I don't know if they'll still do opener and go with the bullpen without Chase Dolander, but we'll see what the Rockies do and who gets the call and gets the ball here. I wonder if let me do a quick just scroll to see if there is any announcement of who's potentially pitching tomorrow. Oh man, we didn't even talk about one thing here. The Troy Johnston beautiful play at first base and going into the dugout. Really love that the Rockies leaned into it and used the picture of his feet of him over the railing there, because that's how this ball game felt. For the Rockies here. A win's a win, but a goofy one. I forgot to mention the Jake McCarthy first ever Rockies unassisted play, a double play from an outfielder here. So anyway, I don't think I'm seeing anything on the starter real quick here. So we'll see the updates as that gets closer to game time. But the Rockies will going up against Kumar Rocker here, 1-4 this year with a 4.34 ERA, 1.50 WHIP in 37 1/3 innings. He's got 30 strikeouts to 17 walks there, 4 home runs allowed. As we get to a look at one of the names that was an exciting one when it comes to heading into the league. But then, of course, things changed with the health and everything kind of shifted a little bit there. But I'm excited. Every time I see the name Kumar Rocker, I'm always intrigued. So it'll be nice to actually see him on the bump and see what he has here and how he handles Coors Field and how the Rockies will be able to handle him there. He's a righty as well, so just in case. Oh, yeah, and one thing that we didn't mention a little bit, Jordan Beck hits the 10-day IL. We'll have to see how I wonder. I mean, hopefully it's his one where he's getting, if this was been something that's bothering him, something he can get right so he can help himself get back into the mix here and be a contributor for the Rockies. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for making Locked On Rockies your first listen of the day. For your second listen, go check out Locked On MLB, Locked On MLB Game Night, and the Back to the Bullpen podcast, all available on that channel. We got you covered with Locked On Broncos, Avalanche, Nuggets, and Buffs, all free and streaming on your favorite streaming services. Until next time, I'm Paul Holden saying so long from the Locked On Rockies podcast.